question, go ahead and raise your hand. Go ahead.
Hey, Rui. That was your first ever NBA playoff game that you played in yesterday. What was that experience like for you, and how did it match up to your expectations?
Oh, you know what? It was different. A lot of people, the players, the coaches always telling me how the playoffs is different, the games, more physical, more intense and stuff. And they always keep saying that the positions matter, And yeah, last night I felt that, it was a different intense, and yeah, it was fun to play. We lost the game, but yeah, that was my first playoff game, and yeah.
And Tobias Harris got really hot in the first half. I know you were guarding him for a good portion of that. What do you feel like you can do in future games if he gets hot like that to try to hinder him a little bit?
They were running like a lot of stuff. I was just keep getting the screen and stuff, and then he gets to space, and and then it looks like he's a scorer. So I just gotta be more physical, just attached to him. I just gotta, avoid keep getting the screen. That's I think the key to guard him. Just gotta be on his body whole time, and just pressure him.
Ava.
Hey, Rui, kind of on that same page, what was your preparation like for the playoff game? Was it any different? We were talking to Davis yesterday, and he was just saying, just even going through scouting reports, like you're looking at so much more detail and you're going through players multiple times.
Yeah, for sure. It kind of reminds me of college, when I was in college, because in the college we always like watching film, and then just like focus on one team, especially at the NBA, since we play like every game, different teams, so we watch films and stuff, but so much details, But yeah, this time, we know who we play, so we just like the more details, like watching a lot of stuff, details, and and of course they do that too, same thing, so they know what we're gonna do, offensively, defensively, and it's very interesting. It's a different experience for me. Yeah.
And last week, obviously, you guys, after the Boston game, you came back and had such a great performance against Indiana. Do you feel like that experience, and I know you were playing different teams last week, but just playing in this series and knowing you're going to have a second chance to come out, do you feel like that'll help you this time around, or does it feel different?
Yeah, for sure. Especially we have 2 days between those games, and I can watch more film with the coaches, and then yeah, just prepare for it. It's just like more intense and then more physical. So I just gotta take care of my body and then just get ready for the next game.
Chase.
Hey, Rui, what have you learned about watching film and the best ways to I guess learn from watching film in your 2 years in the NBA as you now take those skills into a playoff series?
It's like like I said, we know who we playing. We at least gonna play 4 games against them. So and then we already played them like 4 times this year, and then we have a lot of we know what they trying to do and what they don't like and stuff. So, but we just gotta more execute our plan. Last night we are doing that, but like we are just like kind of didn't like do we just being a physical. They were hitting us first, and we just like kind of taking it. So we just gotta be more physical. I think next game, and then of course we watch a lot of films, and we just gotta execute more of those details.
What do you think is key to executing a good double team, particularly on a guy like Joel Embiid? As you put together a double team, what are the key objectives?
I think just like if you're gonna do it, you just gotta go for it. Last night we were kind of like just doing it half-assed, just like, we kind of floating and stuff. So, we just got to be more aggressive from the beginning. And then, and then we just got to more communicate, on the defense. Like for bigs, we got to help the bigs, I know he's the best, he's one of the best players, he's NBA MVP, candidate. So, we just got to help those bigs to, just go, one of the best players in the league.
Scott.
Hey, Rui, you're obviously kind of living out a childhood dream, playing in the playoffs and becoming the first Japanese player to play in an NBA playoff game. I'm wondering, what kind of impact do you hope that has back in Japan?
It's actually big for sure, the NBA, like the basketball in Japan is growing right now, there's a lot of people watching the basketball. And it's actually easy to access, watching the NBA games and stuff. But yeah, it's good, it's just little by little, every year, making a history, it's just like, for me, it's like, it's the type of stuff like I want to do since I was a kid, I want to, help this basketball, culture in Japan. And I think it's going in that way. So yeah, it's good.
Rui, being the first, does that mean anything to you? Does it, or maybe not them? I mean, what does that type of stuff mean to you? Like being the first so-and-so, being the first Japanese player to play in an NBA playoff game?
It's for sure, it's an honor to be in a position like that. I just gotta, but I want like, more of those kids to be like that, it's not only me, but, I hope there's going to be a lot of kids, playing the NBA and, playing playoffs and stuff, just gotta, those kind of stuff, I'm happy to help, those kids to, just being like that. So yeah, it's good.
Thanks, Rui.
Mark.
Yes, Rui, you talked about playing Tobias Harris off the screens. Do you personally have to fight more off the screens or get another man, pick him up? Like, what did you mean about that, playing him off the screens?
There's a lot of, there's two big guys. They said it's good screen, Joy Embiid and then Dwight Howard, they both good, both great screeners. So I just gotta, get through those screens, somehow avoid it, just being physical and attaching to him. And yeah, that's the only way, so I can get in a good position, before he set up. So yeah, that's what I meant.
You said two guys setting good screens. You said Howard. Who was the other one?
Joy Embiid.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and turn it over to Zach.
Okay. Thanks. 八村選手、お疲れ様でした。よろしくお願いします。
お願いします。
まず八村選手にとって昨日初 NBA プレーオフゲームでしたけどいかがでしたか？
そうですね、昨日やっとプレーオフっていうことでプレーオフデビューできて、僕としてもやっぱもう昔というか前から、コーチからもチームメイトからも言われてたように僕のエージェントも言われてたように、プレーオフのそのインテンシティとかフィジカリティはすごい違うっていうことを言ってたので、そういう中で昨日もファンもそうでしたし、レギュラーシーズンと違うものがあったので、そこは昨日経験できてすごい良かったなと思うし、昨日は試合負けてしまったんですけど、最初のデビューということで良かったです。
あとレギュラーシーズンと比べてフィルムスタディとかゲームプランの量、その準備の量がかなり多いですか？
そうですね、さっき僕も思ってたんですけど、大学の時を少し思い出して、大学の時は一つ、試合もそんなに多くないので、一つのチームにすごい集中してやったりするんですけど、今回もそういう感じで、もう4試合は絶対このチームと戦うということで、その中でどれだけ細かくもっとフィルムを見て、スタディして対戦していくということで、そこはすごいその大学の時を思い出しました。
なるほど。昨日はエンビード選手もハリス選手も厄介でしたよね。
そうですね、あっち、2人とも、シクサーズのベストプレーヤーということで、僕らも最初からどういうふうに守るかっていうこともやってたんですけど、僕らの、そういうチームでもそうですし、僕も初めでディフェンス面でそういうところが何回というか、こう無視してたところがあったので、そこでリズム取られたなって思いました。
一人を止めようとゲームプランすると他の選手が活躍するのでダブルチームなどのさじ加減がかなり難しいんじゃないですか。
そうですね、チームでもフィルムも共有しましたし、その中で水曜日の次の試合に向けてもすごい楽しみになります。
あと八村選手は昨日第4クォーターの大事な場面でスリーを2本決めましたけど、要所でのスリーの手応えはいかがですか。
そうですね、もう今リエーションを見た通りブラッド、ラッセルってすごい集中しているので、そういう中で他の選手たちがフリーになったりして、僕も気持ちよく打ってたんじゃないかなと思います。
わかりました。改めてなんですけど、次、またフィラデルフィアであさって試合で1万人くらいのファンでクラウドノイズも相当なファクターだと思いますけど、対戦に向けていかがですか。楽
しみですね。クラウドもすごい、昨日も1万人以上いたんじゃないかっていうぐらいすごい飛躍だったので、そういう中でやれるってことも、久しぶりにやれるってこともすごい嬉しかったですし、そういう環境でやれるってことにすごいやりたいと思いました。すごい楽しみですね。
ありました、ありがとうございました。僕らは以上です。では質問ある方、レーズハンドボタンを押してください。では、山脇明子さんお願いします。
どうもお疲れ様です。
はい。
選手としてはカムバックベターっていうのが常にあると思うんですけれども、この NBA というレベルのプレーオフの中ではそのカムバックベターということをしようとしてもなかなか簡単にできないところがこの世界であって、そういう中でどういうことが大事だと思っていらっしゃいますか。
こういうふうに2日間空いてるということで、僕も少しフィルムをコーチたちのフィルムと見ながらもっと研究できると思いますし、あとはマインドセット的にも強みに向けてしっかりと最初から出だしからフィジカルにいけるようにやっていかなきゃいけないんじゃないかなと思います。
あと先ほどちょっとザックさんからも話がありましたけれども、昨日スリーポイントを最後の方に決めて、逆に昨日ハリスがステップアップしたようにウィザーズではそれを自分ができるというふうな意識はありますか。
そうですね、オフェンスでもディフェンスの部分でもそういう大事なところを任されたりしているので、そういうところでしっかりと期待に応えるように頑張っていきたいなと思います。
はい、ありがとうございます。
宮地さんお願いします。
こんにちは、よろしくお願いします。
はい。
昨日試合の後にブラッドリー・ビーリー選手が初めてのプレーオフを経験する選手たちに向けて緊迫したりいろんなやらなきゃいけないことで頭いっぱいになるかもしれないけれども、とにかく楽しもうと、シーズン通して自分たちはこの舞台に立つためにやってきたんだから楽しもうというふうに言ってたんですけれども、八村選手自身昨日のプレーオフの試合緊張しましたか。それともそういう中でも楽しむ余裕っていうのはありましたか。
そうですね、どちらかというと、ああいう環境でこうやってインテンスの中で、昨日も1万人って言ってたんですけど、1万人以上いたんじゃないかってぐらいすごい企画があって観客の前でやったので、そういうところではすごい楽しめたんじゃないかなと思うのでよかったです。
その他にブラッドとかラスから初めてのプレーオフっていうことで何かアドバイスを受けたこととかありますか。
今チームの業界で言ってるように楽しんでやろうということを言ってやりましたね。
わかりました。ありがとうございます。
では最後に杉浦大輔さんお願いします。1問だけでお願いします。
はい。はい、八村選手お疲れ様です。
はい。
はい、ウィザーズ、ウイングを守れるサイズのある選手、他にほとんどいないということで、八村選手、守備面の負担、ディフェンスの負担、かなりこのシリーズ大きくなると思うんですけど、このシリーズに関しては、ある程度、オフェンス犠牲にしてもという心構えなのか、それともやっぱりオフェンスでも引き続き、なんていうか、バランスよく絡んでいきたいのか、どういった心構えでしょう。
そうですね、オフェンスのディフェンスでも大事なところを任されているので、そういうところでは僕もしっかりと責任を応えるように頑張っていきたいなと思います。
わかりました。ありがとうございます。
はい、ありがとうございました。Back to you, Matt.
All right, thanks, Zach.
Perfectly in frame, Scott. I'm just wondering after you looked at some film, if you saw Rui make any adjustments after halftime and how his defense was able to improve specifically.
I think our defense on Tobias was obviously much better than the first half. I thought the first half we gave him a lot of comfort shots, a lot of comfort space. We didn't challenge his dribble. We didn't challenge his space. And I thought in the second half we did a better job. I mean, you can't take nothing away from him. He's a professional scorer. Man, that guy, he scores all over the floor too. He can post up smaller players. He can take the bigger players off the dribble. He's pick and roll player, transition player, gets to the free throw line. I mean, I think we can, the 28 points in the first half, especially, the first, when the B got the second foul with 6.5 minutes to go or into the quarter. I mean, I thought he took over and kept them, right around where they wanted to be. But I thought we were much better in the second half. We got to play 48 minutes of that.
And I asked Brad a little bit of the same thing yesterday, but when there were kind of a lot of small things across the board that were not quite up to par, what do you tell your guys to focus on first or to get them to prioritize on first?
Well, I just think that we can play with a little bit more toughness. Not that we didn't play with toughness the entire game, but there are segments of the game, or when I say toughness, it's not really the individual. Some of our game scheme toughness that we have to be able to execute, and by being in the right spot, I think that's playing with toughness. By challenging certain personnel tendencies, I think that's playing with toughness. I don't know if we had that enough. With that all being said, we still had a chance to make it a one possession game, under a minute.
Chase.
Scott, just what's it like having so much more practice time now? What does that change for you as you go in between games with 2 days to work with?
It's great. I mean, it's great if you love to be on the court or in the locker room, and it's great to watch film. I mean, there was times this year we couldn't even watch a lot of film from our previous game because we were playing the next night. So it's good. I mean, it's good to be here in Philadelphia and got a couple of days, 3 days between games. We're not here to overanalyze it. We know what we have to do to get better, and we know we're playing against an amazing team. They're the #1 record in the East for a reason. But I thought, they beat us by a point in one quarter. We beat them by a point in one quarter. We tied one quarter, and then they beat us by, I think, 6. So it was it was a very competitive game throughout. There wasn't that many times that either team had a big lead where it wasn't going to look like it was coming back. But a couple of things here and there we need to do better, and hopefully we will.
And when it comes to executing a double team on a play like Joel Embiid, what's the key to doing that without it not leading to a pass to an open shooter?
Yeah, I mean, you got to have ball pressure initially. There's a couple of things that have to take place. You got to be able to be physical without fouling before he touches the ball. And then you got to have some good ball pressure. When you double team, you got to be precise. You got to take his airspace. You got to take away his vision with 4 hands, 2 chest on chest. If you could do that, that gives you the best chance. Now, he's a very talented, skilled, big, wide body, athletic, and he's not afraid of it because he's seen it many times. So that just gives you the best chance. I don't think we did that enough last night. I think we can get better. And we looked at a bunch of clips where we didn't do as well as we were capable of doing it. And hopefully we do a better job Wednesday night if we do go back to that.
Fred.
Hey, Scott. On a few occasions yesterday, Davis came around a screen and kind of looked like he was about to go up for a normal 3 around a screen, and their length just caught up to him, and he wasn't able to get the shot off, and you guys kind of had to reset. What can you do? Because I know you always say whenever he has a game with like 12 threes, you always say you would love to see him get that many every game. What can you guys do to kind of combat the Sixers' length in those scenarios, so maybe he can get up to that number that you like him at in terms of attempts?
Well, there's times where they're going to put you on the ball with Brad and pick and rolls. I mean, those are times where we can get DB threes, and without length bothering us, and we didn't do a great job of that. Our bigs stayed in the scrum. We got to find the sweet spot and be able to give Brad a passing opportunity, and now we can spray out some weak side threes where their length is not going to be able to catch up with the speed of a pass. That's one thing that we need to get better. And then transition. I thought we missed a few of our shooters in transition, and we got to be able to connect there. We've done a really good job of doing that. And then our set plays, I think DB needs to do a better job of setting up, but our bigs need to do a better job of setting screens. So if we do that, he's going to get cleaner looks. But you also got to give them credit. They know that we haven't shot the ball well from 3, and they know that he's our best 3-point shooter. So their antennas are up, and it should be. It's like we have some guys that we need to focus on that don't want to get, clean looks. With all that needs to take place, for him to get better looks, I think we definitely have to do a better job of doing all of that to make it happen.
Matt Paris.
Hey, Scott, I think Daniel Gafford at halftime was like a plus 18, and obviously some of that was not Embiid being on the floor, but just how important is it for you guys to take advantage of the minutes that Embiid is not on the floor, and how did you kind of like that in game 1?
Yeah, no, I like his minutes on the floor. There's always other things to consider, and we have foul situations that we have to be aware of, and foul trouble. And it's hard to play the way we play, and he's as athletic and as in great condition as any big in the league. But with the pace that we play, he's still carrying around, I don't know what he exactly weighs, 260. That's a lot of weight to play, 10, 12 minutes at a time. So we try to break it up as much as we can in the game flow, but his minutes on the floor has been really good, and they're gaining. His minutes are gaining good experience as well. So I think the more minutes he gets, I think the more things that he's going to be able to see instinctually. Right now, sometimes he's a little hesitant. We saw a bunch of clips with Embiid and with Howard that I think that he could do a better job with. And one thing I love about Gaff, that he understands that he wants to get better, and he's very coachable. He listens to our veterans. He listens to our coaches, and he's a really, really talented young player that's going to continue to grow into a really good player.
And for the minutes that Embiid sits, just how important is it for you guys to capitalize on those when Embiid is not on the floor? And how did you like you guys handling that situation yesterday when he wasn't? When
Tobias got loose,
yeah.
When Howard's in the game, we don't want to give him any easy shots. We want to put him on the free throw line. We want to make sure there's no and ones. We gave up an and one on him, and he shouldn't have and ones. He should have 2 free throws.
Scott.
Yes.
This Scott. Hey, Scott. Obviously, a playoff series is all about adjustments and game adjustments. As a coach, how much do you enjoy that aspect of a playoff series of constantly adjusting and game planning? Because it's obviously entirely different than the long haul of a regular season.
I love it. This is what players love, and this is what coaches love. Our fans love it. This is a great time of the year to be in the NBA. The other 14 teams are watching. It's miserable. But this is fun. This is fun. I know we're down 1-0. We felt like we had a chance to win. It could have gone either way. But make the adjustments and do some things that we've done well, and even try to even get better at them. Our film session was really good. A lot of communication from our leaders and from everybody. I open it up for everybody. I don't have all the answers, and neither do the players, but we can find some really good answers together, and we've done that pretty well through this year. Today was no different. We got some adjustments that we can make that and then we worked on the practice floor, so we can have it in our back pocket when needed. We have to do a couple of things better. We definitely got to keep Simmons off the offensive glass, and then we can also wrap him up too. We can put him on the free throw line. We don't want to give him easy buckets. And then we turned the ball over. And I think in that fourth quarter, during a key part of the game, I think we turned it over 5 times in like a 3-minute period. So those are adjustments that we can make. And it wasn't just Brad and Russell turning it over 6 times each. It was the spacing. It was the bigs on their 2 on the ball coverage. We didn't do a good job there, but that's the fun part about this time of the year, and I know our players love it as well.
And Scott, regardless of the outcome of this series, win or lose against Philly, do you consider this season a success?
Well, I mean, we got a long ways to start thinking about that now. I mean, I know I'm excited about this series. I'm excited about game 2. Just from before the season started, I was pretty proud of how we got here. There's not a lot of teams would have fought through the way we had to fight to get here, and that wasn't easy. Not only was it not easy physically, just from the game after game after game, and travel and road games and hotels and buses and airplanes. It's not physically, it's hard, but mentally, it's hard when you're not where you want to be record-wise, and we still just kept plugging along. But that's for a later time. We're still excited about this series. I mean, we know what we're up against, but we know that a couple of things could have gone our way, and we could be better. We can't afford. I mean, we know we survived offensively by getting to the free throw line. It's hard to be, after the game, only having 15 free throws. I don't care how many they have. We gotta generate some better attacks and better opportunities to get to the free throw line. That's a big number to make up, and we've done a pretty good job of making that up all year. With our, we're not a high volume 3-point shooting team, but we got a really dynamic players that get to the free throw line.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Kai Carlin.
Hey, Coach. I just real quick wanted to ask you what you liked about the zone defense look you had against the Sixers in the second quarter. It seemed like it bothered them a little bit yesterday. Yeah, I mean, we did. We probably could have done it some more than we did, but we did a fair number. It's definitely we're gonna continue to do it. No, there's no mistakes about it. I thought we did a pretty good job. I thought we got lucky a couple of times, so some of their good shooters had wide open looks, but we made some adjustments at halftime and also this today, so we can hopefully clean that up. But definitely zone. We're gonna throw it all at them. We trap from the bottom, trap from the top, trap from off the dribble, play a square up, play it zone. That's what we have to do, and I think that's how we've gotten better defensively over the last 3 months as well. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, last question to Christos.
Hey, coach. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you. I'm doing very well.
Great. My question is, what did you see from your team that make you optimistic about the rest of the series and especially for the game too? And how important for you is to slow down Tobias' game?
I got the second part of your question about how important to slow down Tobias. What was the first part?
What are the aspects of your game that make you optimistic about the game too and the rest of the series?
We got good players. We got good players that love to compete. They have a great sense of bounce back ability. We've always seemed to be able to do that. I don't know, with all the stuff that's gone on, just the mental toughness, it just kind of built it through all the stuff that's happened to us. But I'm confident we will play better. I mean, I'm hopeful. But they feel the same way now. Let's face it, they're a good team. They're the best team. They're going to try to, make adjustments as well as we are. And then Tobias Harris, we just got to do a better job of not getting him in any of the easy ones. He's going to make tough ones, man. That guy makes tough shots. He made a couple of tough shots on Rui that I'm like, there's nothing else Rui could have done. I mean, you can look at what I like to do. I like to really look at like really slow motion where the shot is being released, where the hand is being contested at the ball, and we couldn't have done much better. That guy is, like I said, he's a professional scorer. I don't know. I mean, I think definitely he's an all-star player, and I don't know why he hasn't been one. But we need to do a better job on him. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Enjoy your night.
Same to you.
Hey, Daniel. Hope you're doing well. What did you learn about the Sixers after the game one? What was the biggest lesson of that game, and what would you like to improve the game too?
Really just, the level of physicality that we play with, I feel like we could play a little bit more. Well, just in my position, just when I came into the game, I think it was the first foul that I had got. I was boxing out Ben Simmons and whatnot, and he kind of wedged me under the basket. It's just really just having, a level of awareness and a level of awareness and just really just the mindset to come in and just be ready to play. Instead of just having to have something or just really just any type of situation kind of wake you up. You just got to be ready to play, especially if it's in the playoffs. I mean, this is obviously my first, playoff game that I just played. And it was a lot of crazy energy that was going on and stuff. But I mean, I was prepared for it. So, I mean, I came out and I was in the mindset, I was just like ready to play. But then I first checked in, Ben had pushed me under the basket. I got my first foul and it just showed like, yeah, it's time to go because, the level of physicality, it was going to be way top tier. And then playing guys like Dwight Howard, Joel Embiid, you have to come out with the mindset, just really just try to push them around more than they try to push you around. That's just, that was just my mindset. We was tried to throw a lot of different things at Joel. We tried to, throw a lot of different things at, I would say, Tobias Harris and Dwight Howard, certain things like that. But yeah, just like my main takeaway from it is just the level of physicality and the level of awareness that guys come out to play with. Guys come out ready to play, come out ready to go, and they have a job on their mind, and they come out and they do their job.
Chase.
Hey, Daniel, just what was the experience like playing in the playoffs for the first time? I know you got sort of a taste of it with the play-in tournament, but what was it like being in the playoffs?
Oh, just the energy here in Philly, it was crazy. It's been a while since you've seen an arena like that full, especially with this COVID season going on and stuff. But just the level of, intensity that's around the arena from the fans to the players, And it's been, I ain't gonna lie to you, it's been a minute since I've heard an arena to where like I almost had to cover my ears. And I played in Bud Walton Arena, so it's totally different.
And what are your objectives? When a double team happens on Joel Embiid, and you guys want to prevent it from leading to a pass to an open shooter. What are your kind of objectives there?
Really, just I would say, and this may be hard to do, but I mean, I'm up for the challenge. If my teammates are up for the challenge, just really just trying to bring him out of his comfort zone. He can't get really comfortable when it comes to either playing one-on-one defense on him or just really just double teaming him. We can't let him do the things that, he's comfortable of doing when it comes to having all kind of things thrown at him. Like with the double teams that we had in the first game, he was dribbling around us. He was making passes out to shooters and certain things like that. We got to take all those options away from him if we want to be willing to succeed in a game like this. Because, Joel, he's a great player, and just, it's not just going to take one thing to stop him. It's going to take one thing and a lot more behind that to stop him for sure. I mean, he's the MVP. You got to give him props because he worked his ass off to be in this position that he's in. So he's for sure going to be able to, figure things out and adjust to it. We just have to throw a lot of things at him. So with him being able to adjust to it, we just have to make sure, like I said, just, as hard as it's going to be, and we'll be up for the challenge for sure. Just take him out of his comfort zone,
Fred.
Hey, Daniel. The Sixers have so many long defenders who are on the perimeter. I'm just wondering, how is it different for you as a screener, kind of trying to screen a guy like, say, Ben Simmons, as opposed to maybe when you're more used to having to kind of impede smaller guys?
It's for sure different. I've had to screen, guys of his height before, just not of just, I would say his size when it comes to weight size, for sure. He's more of a physical guy coming off of a screen, in my opinion. And when he was on Brad, he was just, just like tenacious. He was really just trying to make sure Brad really didn't touch the ball when I was trying to set him screen and certain things like that. So, like I said, with that level of physicality, you got to make sure, you get a hit on him or just pretty much anybody that you're screening when it comes to the playoffs, because, guys aren't going to let you, just walk through the paint and just score a bucket or anything like that. Guys aren't going to let you do that in general. That's basketball. Everybody is coming out and they're, going to play at, a whole different level than the regular season. So just making sure that I can do the best I can to get guys open is just my main priority. Like Brad, like I said, like you said, he had Ben Simmons on him. Ben Simmons is a very physical guy. He's a very defensive player for sure. And, just making sure we can, out-physical him when it comes to setting screens, that's going to be good for us because, it's going to get our guys open. It's going to be able to score for us and make plays for us and stuff like that.
And on a similar note, Davis is a guy who runs off of off-ball screens all the time. How do you, you've played with him for like 2 months now. Mm-hmm. Do you talk to him like that and try to develop chemistry with him by talking about how he likes to run around? Like, how do you develop that screen and teammate kind of connection?
Yeah, I would say it's more of just like off the court that I talk to him. It's not really just like in game situations. We really just talk maybe like back in the locker room at halftime, or maybe like on the sideline when we're on the bench, or maybe even timeout. Sometimes it's in the game too, for sure. Just figuring out ways to get him open, how he can help himself be able to, receive a screen from me and certain things like that. Because a lot of guys that top lock him and try to keep him from coming off the screen, but he does a lot of movements and stuff that really can like help open him up and stuff. And it helps me get in a position to where I can set the screen for him to get him that shot he wants, certain things like that. So the conversations that we have, it's helped us build a lot of chemistry because it's, coming down in transition and certain things like that. If we're not going to run a set play or anything like that, those can be one of our plays for sure. Just going down, getting DB, getting them open for a 3-ball. And then if like the big helps up, boom, he can make the extra pass down. He can dump down that extra pass and we can just play out of that. I either have a bucket or the guy helps off the corner. We throw it to the corner and get a 3.
And I know this is a little uninvolved, but you're playing in the playoffs right now. Last year, you didn't even get a chance to go to the bubble. I'm just curious, during like those 9 months or around this time last year when you're not in the bubble, what were you doing?
Well, just being in the league, sometimes it's good to take a break mentally, physically, emotionally, all of that. So I would say I took about maybe 2 weeks off for sure, rested my body up, tried to, just get back into, that mindset of like, yeah, it's time to get back to work. And for sure, so I took the 2 weeks off, kind of rested, took care of my body, did things that would really just like help me clear my mind mentally, kind of forget about everything that happened before, forget about the past and just come out and be ready to be better for the next season. So after that 2 weeks, I was in the gym. It was either I was in the gym in Chicago or I was in the gym back in Arkansas, certain things like that. COVID was around, so it was really tough at the time. But yeah, for sure, just took the 2 weeks off and got right back to it because I didn't want to be one of those guys that just, take a break and keep taking a break throughout the summer, and then boom, I come back the next season and I'm out of shape. I didn't have the weight that I had the year before and anything like that. So I just really just kind of like try to lock in as much as I can during the summer too, because that helps me work on my craft and work on the things that I didn't do the year before that I can do the next upcoming one.
Scott. You there, Scott? All right, he might be good. All right, Daniel.
All right,
Appreciate
cool.
you.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, guys.